everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And we are back to talk about Gotham finally. We are back from the mid-season finale, and the first episode for the second part of the season is called Ghosts! Ghosts! And Eric, I don't know about this one, buddy.
I don't know.
We were having a lot of fun with this show earlier in the season, and we had a lot of reservations about the mid-season finale, and now that we're back, it feels like last season again to me.
Yeah, this feels like season 2.
And
whatever creative
that
changeover we imagined for the first half of the season has reversed, and we're back to the creators of last season.
I can't tell how much of what we were praising was just
accidental?
happy accidents. Yeah, I don't know. There was fun to be had here, but I was laughing at it more than I was laughing with it. We kept praising it earlier in the season for knowing that it's black comedy and dark 60s Batman, and that it's all about the absurdity. And I mean, it is still all about the absurdity.
Yeah, some of that still kind of works, and some of that doesn't.
Some of it just doesn't, yeah. So let's start with the amusing time problems we always have with the show, which is that, once again, at the beginning of this episode, because we have several weeks in real life in between, the show seems to think that it can kind of dupe us into thinking that all of the different like time periods where we are all line up. So it seems like in some scenes a number of weeks have passed, and in other scenes a couple of hours have passed, and it's just super sloppy about that.
To be fair,
it wasn't as bad as we thought it was once we...
None of those plot lines ever crossed, so it's not like you ever have to actually deal with that. Like the fact that Selina Kyle's talking to her mom clearly like 2 hours after the season finale, and Jim Gordon is a couple of days later, and then the Penguin seems like he's a couple of weeks later. Mm-hmm. That's all right, like kind of, because they never interact.
Yes, but once they start interacting, it's gonna be awkward.
Yeah.
Because unless the show comes out and tells you that these are not things that are happening simultaneously, you're gonna assume that that's what's going on, and that's been a problem with the show a lot, especially last season.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I don't know. That was amusing. So I don't know. Let's start with Penguin, maybe.
Okay.
So
this is the biggest. I'm not sure if I'm laughing at it or with it.
Okay.
Because when they do the reveal of what's going on, we were laughing.
Well, especially because you said what it was as a joke, and then that's what it was.
And I don't know whether I was supposed to take it seriously or not. I don't know if I was supposed to be impressed.
As far as the guy that's pretending to be a ghost of his father, yeah.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
But is it too dumb for this show? That's always the question.
There was a room full of people, and unless every single person there was paid off, which they don't indicate in the dialogue.
And I don't think they come out and tell us that even the interviewer was in on it, do they?
Yeah, I don't think so. Why wasn't she like, what's that man doing there?
I mean, she didn't look behind her, but...
Well, she turns when he runs away. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was so dumb. I mean, he's playing it great, like Penguin.
Yeah.
And, like, that's fun. He's killing a man for having a birthday, like...
Yeah. It's the closest we've gotten to seeing the Penguin kill a man for a sandwich again. I mean, he doesn't actually kill the guy for the food he's holding, but he's holding cake, and so that was fun for me. We got to see the Penguin kill someone while holding cake.
You want to talk about Friday?
Yeah, here in a second. So, suddenly crime is down and things are turning around in Gotham for no reason.
I got the impression it was because of that new guy that he hired.
No, I didn't get that impression.
Oh, no?
We haven't had... Hardly any time has passed. And again, I don't know how much time is supposed to have passed.
Well, the way that guy talks, it seems like that guy's been working with Penguin for a while to, like, bring down crime. And, like, he's like, yeah, we did this together. And Penguin's like, I didn't really pay attention. I thought that guy brought crime down.
Maybe so, but then if it has been any amount of time at all, again, that's kind of the problem is I don't know how much time was supposed to have passed. Then I don't know why it took Nigma this long to, initiate his scheme.
He had to put the guy there to be murdered, and he had to build up a relationship before he murdered them.
Sure. but anyway,
it's a long con. Penguin's father's grave is dug up and his body is taken out, And that night, the cops show up and knock on the door, and they're like, someone's broken into your father's grave! How would they know that?
Oh, well, they were probably paid off, too.
That's what I'm saying, is they had to also have been paid off.
Yeah, but that one...
Is the whole town paid off?
Yeah, I mean... And is it to the point where even how... like how much... the crime numbers are down is something they're making up to make this plot work? Maybe that's fake. That makes more sense than just magically Gotham is a safer place because the Penguin's been mayor. Because we keep laughing about how he doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. He's not really doing mayor stuff. There's even a line in this episode where he goes, I've been doing mayor stuff. Like, he's just a crime lord pretending to be the mayor.
When this episode opened, you were like, oh, that's right, he's the mayor.
I've really been wanting to see him actually be the leader of the city, because of course that's what he was, and you know, the whole King of Gotham thing. It would have been far more interesting if he was kind of good at it. You know, and if he was actually kind of a decent mayor, even though he's obviously a horrible person and psychotic and will kill people for a sandwich.
Right.
But we haven't really gotten to see him, and he's supposed to be a master manipulator. We haven't really gotten to see him do much political stuff.
A long time.
Yeah.
That master manipulator thing is not a thing we've seen for a long time.
We still pretend like it's there, but he wins because he's the Penguin, and he's one of the characters that we want to follow in the show.
He should.
So he's able to get away with stuff because everybody's dumbed down.
He should be thinking of things of like,
him.
when the cops come to his door, how did you possibly know that my father's grave was digged up? Like,
yeah.
These should be pieces he's putting together.
So he's as dumbed down as everybody else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's real problematic. But anyway, so I thought that whole thing was really silly. I could not stop making fun of one single dialogue exchange throughout this episode. That's why Eric said Friday. So there's this interviewer, this journalist who is supposed to have an exclusive interview with Penguin, and they're negotiating and arguing back and forth about when and where it's going to happen. But one of them seems really concerned about when it's going to be, and one of them seems concerned about where it's going to be, and they're not having the same conversation, and there is this there's this exchange where they're not talking about the same things. So he says, so he's like, I want it to be at home, and she's like, no, Friday. And I'm like, that doesn't follow. What are you talking about?
I think what was supposed to be happening was he was going to say, because she said it will be here, it'll be live,
right,
and it will be on Friday. And I think what was supposed to be was he was supposed to be starting like, I want it at my home, I want it not live, and she cuts him off.
And she's not
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
All. Yeah, but
he doesn't finish that line.
It seems like it just doesn't follow at all.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that kind of writing in this episode. This whole episode feels like it was written in an afternoon to me. It's real sloppy.
Wait, when is the season coming back? Tomorrow? Oh, that's not going to work for me.
We don't have enough time for that. I know. Let's see. Zaz and guns. Okay, we'll have that whole thing, and then I guess we gotta pay off. We gotta continue this thing with Selina Kyle's mother. We're gonna do there. Somebody's holding something over her head.
She's bad.
Yeah.
Everybody likes that kid that's awful as not the Joker. Let's bring him back.
Bring that guy back. Yeah. Now, to be fair, we've known about that this whole season. They've been touting up that they're going to bring him back.
I didn't know that. I wish I didn't, or I don't know. I didn't. I wish they didn't. He's awful. He's terrible. He's the worst. I mean, he's not even in this episode, but like season 2, he's painful.
I've never cared for that idea. I don't like the direction they're going with it. The performance I've been indifferent on.
Oh, see, the performance is like nails on chalkboard to me. It's if you asked me to play the Joker, that's what it is. It is the most obvious, like, I'm crazy.
Yeah, and it does feel a little like I've heard people make this complaint, and I can't totally disagree with it. That it is kind of like all those YouTube kids after Dark Knight.
Yep, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah,
he's terrible. He's awful. I don't know about him in anything else. In this, he's always been terrible. I've always disliked him. I don't know why people.
I guess part of the reason that I didn't.
But people do like him, and that's why they're bringing him back.
I guess part of the reason I didn't have a big opinion on it was because he was gone. So it's like, well, we got that behind us, and because clearly they didn't have, or I want to say clearly, I don't know that they had intentions to bring him back initially.
I don't think so.
I think they've killed off characters, and then
I think they planned 2 weeks
came
ahead.
off with this Indian Hill thing. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes scene to scene. And they came up with this Indian Hill thing, and they were like, oh, cool, we can bring back anybody that we like or the fans like. And so they're like, well, nobody really likes Gallivant that much, but we want to do Azrael, so we'll bring him back for 5 seconds so that we can then have Azrael and then kill him off. Somebody had a cool idea for a suit. Let's do that.
Yeah.
But with Jerome, with the Joker kid, it seemed really clear to me that the whole idea was we can get away with doing the Joker early by having it be something that is supposed to inspire whatever the real Joker is going to be. Now this kid has to be the Joker.
Yeah, you can't bring him back. And this, whatever they do with him has to end with him falling into bad chemicals.
And they're doing all of your, like, graffiti iconography from Dark Knight.
Yep.
The ha-ha-has everywhere, and even very much that same smile.
Well, and you've got the Batman Begins Jokers kind of running around. Or not Begins, Beyond. Batman Beyond, like the Jokers.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All those people inspired by him. Even though he never dressed as a clown, there's no reason for them to be inspired by a clown man.
Again, I gotta go back and watch that episode again, because I can't remember. It seemed to kind of make sense before. It was just a bunch of, like, street punks and, like, disturbed personalities doing his laugh. I don't know why that necessarily becomes clown.
Yeah. I don't...
So then it's almost even worse, because then that ends up being he inspires them and then they inspire him when he comes back, right? Because they came up with the clown thing.
Well,
so now he's going to be all...
And, I mean, not to go back to season 2, but one of the reasons I hated him so much was not only is his performance terrible and I could do it, but so much stuff he does only makes sense if he's the Joker. Like, there's a lot of, like, performance stuff that he does where I'm like, well, you wouldn't do that unless you were going with a clown theme, and you're not going with a clown theme. Like, I'm not sure what's going on. Like, I don't know. I'm not excited that he's back. I'm sure everyone's excited he's back because apparently everyone loves him. They love him so much. Of course, they also told me that everyone loves Fish Mooney, and I've never met a person that likes Fish Mooney.
I have certainly talked to people that really like Jerome, but I don't know. I have too. I'm disappointed because, and I mean, I knew this was going to happen, and honestly, as soon as they brought in Indian Hill, I was like, okay, they're going to resurrect the Joker again. Like, as soon as they resurrected Gallivant, I was like, okay, they're going to resurrect the Joker again. They're bringing back everybody.
Oh, but I didn't,
nobody stays
so
dead.
Bad.
They're bringing back everybody. But he was, for a lot of the fans, the big standout.
Those fans are wrong. I don't know.
But I'm disappointed because I liked the idea that this was either rumored or this was what the producers were talking about early on. I'm actually not sure. But I had heard word early on that the idea with the Joker was supposed to be that they were going to, throughout the series...
have a bunch of different people that could be the Joker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I loved that idea.
Yeah, and one of them might turn out to be the Joker, and
or maybe you'd have to guess. They always acted like it was going to be ambiguous, but that's when the show felt a little more thoughtful.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's when there was a shoe motif.
That
was just dropped 5 episodes in.
And you opened episode 1, you had that failing comedian that was one of the people that maybe could have been the Joker.
Could have been the Joker, yeah.
No, we're just doing
and like, you could do all of the different Joker backgrounds.
Yeah.
Of the different ones where we've actually gotten a Joker background, or different stories that the Joker in different media has claimed about, you could have a guy who has one of the scenarios from the Dark Knight where the Joker's talking about the wife in the kitchen, how I got these scars. Like, they could do that guy. So, I don't know. It's disappointing to me that that's not where we went with it, but this is also not at all the show that I thought I was watching at the beginning.
That's true.
So, it's going its own way, and I can't even say, like, it's wrong of them to do the Joker before Batman at this point, because this is not a Batman show.
No, like, that's not the issue. It's him. He's the issue. If they got a different actor, like, maybe, like, at this point they can do anyone. Like, who cares if Batman exists or not in this show? It's such a moot point at this point.
We were also really enjoying, and I was surprised that I was saying that, the Bruce Selina stuff earlier in the season, and now her mom has come in, and for me, kind of put a wedge in the fun with that.
Yeah, I don't care about that story.
Yeah.
And I know how it's going to resolve. And
I really don't care about a love interest for Alfred that much. Like,
he can't stop. He can't stop, man. Every woman,
yeah.
No, but you know what's going to happen.
Or if they were, I don't know, if they could do just, like, a cute love story where you could actually, where it didn't have to be, like, super dramatic, and you could just have him have a girlfriend that was cool, that we liked, and, like with this show, that probably ends in tragedy, but it doesn't have to.
Just run with that kid detective thing that you did for an episode for a whole season.
Yeah.
Just have them be together and have fun adventures that kind of tie into things.
Yeah.
Just do that. Oh, and the owl statue is something.
That
light shines
it starts
through
glowing.
It, and I think maybe it's projecting a map or something. I don't.
Well, I thought you were joking when you said that, because those things tend to always turn out to be maps.
Yeah, it's really dumb and obvious, but that's what I thought it was doing.
So it's gonna be like Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the woman playing her mom is not great. She's not Michelle Pfeiffer.
No.
They clearly
wanted Michelle Pfeiffer.
And I feel confident in saying clearly with this, they cast her because she looks a little bit like Michelle Pfeiffer. Mm-hmm. She does that lip pursing thing that Michelle Pfeiffer does.
Well, and didn't the girl who plays Selina meet with Michelle Pfeiffer on like a talk show or something?
I didn't know that.
I thought that was a thing that happened. Maybe Anne Hathaway was there. Like, I thought they had the Catwoman there. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's neat if they did that.
But you would think if they did that, like, she would.
Maybe she would do the show. I mean,
yeah,
Michelle Pfeiffer's not really doing anything that I know of.
Not that I know.
I think she's in a movie every now and again. But
yeah. I mean, she's not out of work, but I don't think she needs to work.
Yeah. But she doesn't seem like she's necessarily too good for TV. Especially in this day and age, it doesn't seem like most actors are too good for TV at this point.
Yeah.
Even these kinds of shows. And we've had some heavy hitters come into the show.
Yep.
Well, relatively heavy hitters. But anyway, speaking of names, Chiklis is back.
Chiklis is back. He's great. He's got one scene. He's great.
And he's still doing the judge, jury, and execute. And every time he does that, you notice that the score will drop out and has like a beat for each. Judge, jury. And
it's funny because the way his speech goes, it's almost like he fumbled his line, but he just kept going and said the line again. Because he's like, I will judge them, and I will jure them, and I'll execute them. I will be judge, jury, and execution. Like, he says it twice, but in just slightly different ways.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it is. It's not like I will judge them, I'll jure them. That's dumb. But
I will jure them.
But he says...
Usher is prepared to ush!
But he says something where, like, he clearly states what he's going to do, and then he finishes it with, I will be judge, jury, and execution. I'm like, yeah, we get it.
So he's back, and I don't know if we'll see him again. I would assume so at some point.
Yeah.
But he is, and I think...
He's getting out.
I think he's going to be a lockup.
Yeah.
I almost certainly he'll end up being locked up. But...
he's less interested in locking people up, and he's more like bullet in.
That's true. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about that. Anyway, but we were talking about that earlier. We thought maybe that if he was going to be a named character,
he'd probably be locked up.
But everybody knows who he is, so it's not like he needs a character name, a supervillain name. But anyway, so he's there so that Leslie Tompkins can realize that her fiance and then husband for 5.5 seconds was actually insane and crazed, and that Jim probably killed him in self-defense.
Well, it wasn't self-defense, it was that he was about to murder her.
Oh, that's what it's been a few weeks. Yeah. But that he had good cause to kill him.
Yeah.
And you were saying before this episode, back when we talked about that you just knew that she would blow that out of proportion and that she wouldn't see the situation for what it was, even though it was really clear what happened. And that is what they do with it.
Yeah.
And then she goes and figures out what the virus actually does and goes, oh wait, I guess I was wrong about Jim Gordon.
And we have this big, like, you still love him thing.
Yeah.
All right. So I wouldn't go back to dating someone who came into my place of work and made a scene like she made.
Yeah.
She, like, dresses him down and embarrasses him in front of all of his coworkers.
Well, worse than that, she basically says he's like scum of the earth and worse than and as bad as any crook in the city, or criminal in the city.
You can't do that, and then, like, the next day be like, so, I was wrong? And I think maybe I still have feelings for you,
and I'm sure
so maybe we should...
I'm sure he'll come running back to her.
Yeah. She needs to die. I was more okay when it looked like she was going to become a crime boss for 10 seconds.
See, I really didn't want that.
I mean, I don't want it either, but I want it more than this.
I don't want her to show anymore. The biggest misstep of the season is that we didn't write her out when we had a really good opportunity to.
Yeah.
And I guess all of that was an excuse. I mean, obviously just for relationship drama and for people who are big fans of that actress, who want to keep her.
I like that actress.
I do too. I'm just disliking this character at this point.
Yeah, it's not her fault.
And I feel like I honestly agree with you when you said that they probably have kept her around. Maybe they didn't even intend to, but then Deadpool happened. I kind of think maybe they just don't want to lose that actress.
Yeah,
but I
giving her anything to do.
But I don't know. Yeah,
anything good to do. Anyways,
just do something with her. But anyway, that's all an excuse to get Falcone back in the show.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's not that hard.
No, especially given that they already had him back in the show. Like, you don't need to kill his son, and
you didn't need this whole convoluted
plot.
Now, I will say that all that happened a little quicker than I thought it would.
Yeah, the fact that he immediately is like, all right, we're not killing Jim Gordon.
Yeah, I do not understand that. That drives me crazy. That is bizarre. This show loves having characters just walk into places where they can't possibly know that characters are. We love the dramatic entrances in the show like that. He walks in when Zaz is real convenient timing. Zaz has got him dead to rights. Mm-hmm. And Falcone walks in and is like, nope, we're not killing him. Why?
Well, it's interesting because it's not that he has him dead to rights. The situation is more interesting than that. It's that he has a gun on Bullock.
Oh, that's right.
And if he tries to shoot him, he's going to shoot Bullock. And he's like, I'm not supposed to kill Bullock. I'm supposed to kill you.
Yeah.
That's an interesting situation. Oh, we're not gonna deal with that.
Bullock's like, do it. I don't care if I die.
While you're probably right, they wrote this over a weekend. I think they wrote it the first day, and the second day they just rewrote Bullock's lines because he still has all of the best lines every time.
That is the one consistency throughout.
Does anyone stay dead in this town?
Thing throughout the show is that he always has lines that feel like they're written by somebody else.
Yep, his lines are great,
and they're consistently the same kind of sarcasm.
It's like he has his own personal writer on the show.
Yeah, or like he's making up all of his lines.
That's possible,
Which is possible. Because it doesn't... A lot of it can't possibly be improvisation in the scene. It's like, you have a line here, say whatever. It can't all be that. But it sure feels
whatever
like
Donald
it.
says.
Yeah, it sure feels like it because his lines are consistently good.
Yep.
And he's the only character in the show that is always the same person all the way through.
Yep.
I never feel like he's out of character.
He's great.
And he never gets dumb, either. I don't feel like we dumb him down that much.
No, he's the one person who sees the show he's in and comments on it.
Yeah.
He's like, well, this is stupid.
I don't know. But anyway, so I guess the idea is supposed to be that Falcone, cares about Leslie Tompkins now because she was married to his son for 5 seconds, and so...
Well, I mean, they cultivate a relationship through the first part of the season.
Yeah, but this would be bigger than that.
And family's real important to the mafias.
Yeah, and it's important to Falcone. He always talks about it that way, but I don't know that they're communicating that right. Because I'm not buying that... Or maybe he has some other plan or some other trick up his sleeve. He's not done with Gordon.
Or maybe
certainly.
Maybe it's something where he's like, if we do this, you have to be okay with it, and she's not okay with it, so he calls him off. He's still going to kill him. He's just not going to kill him so that she knows that he killed him.
Yeah, maybe so.
So she won't feel responsible. But given that his...
And so does that have her mixed up in the mob now?
Well, I think it would have if they'd killed Jim Gordon, but now it wouldn't. No, it doesn't. I don't know.
But if he's seeing her as family, then that makes me think that he's gonna keep trying to have a relationship with her. I mean, I realize that his son was outside of the mob.
Well, and stereotypically, in mob families, like the women aren't involved in the business. Mm-hmm. But what I don't get is, given his platitude at the end, where he's like, "You still love Jim Gordon." Why doesn't that bother him that she just married his son?
Yeah.
That doesn't factor into it at all.
It's like we just needed a character to say that.
Yeah, so that we, the audience, know that we're just writing in circles.
Mm-hmm. And that's a theme we're dealing with.
Yep.
So it's called Ghosts because we have different kinds of ghosts. None of them, of course, are
actual ghosts.
Real ghosts. But
one of them's pretending.
But you have a pretend ghost that is just hilarious.
Yep.
And you have and then you have the Selina's mom,
the ghost of her past.
Yeah, coming back to haunt her, and then you have the ghost of the Joker of Jerome. Which
we should mention.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But that is inspiring, like a cult of people, and that's I like the way that scene was shot, with the footage of him, and it's almost like an underground, inspirational, speaking kind of kind of meeting. I liked that. But anyway, so the guy who's running that is that what you were gonna mention? Yeah. The guy who's running that is the crazy guy from Dark Knight who is the sniper.
Yep.
And we saw
the one
on the
who
sidewalk.
gets handcuffed and Harvey plays with the coin at his face.
Yes, and he has a really distinct face, and I've seen him in other things, and every time he pops up, and he always plays those kinds of characters. He's a little bit like the guy who plays Wormtongue, where it's always it's always that kind of crazed, disturbing character, and so now that guy is also working for this Joker.
Well,
kind of, or no, he's not working for him.
He's trying to resurrect him. Yeah. So it seems like he's going to use him. My guess is,
and I guess he was on Indian Hill.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess he was part of that whole thing.
And why?
You think he's going to use him? Because I think he's seeing it like he's a disciple of a god or something. Like he's going to bring him back and.
I don't know,
because what do you want to do now, sire? Like, I think it's going to play more like that. I think he wants to be Jerome's right-hand man or something.
The way he said he was going to bring him back made it seem more like we need even more to get these people to do what we want.
Oh, okay.
And
what
so
is their goal then?
Chaos. I don't know. If we go down with the final shot,
but the way you're saying it sounds like it's like trying to manipulate them with a rhetoric, but there's something else they're actually about, and they're like playing the saps so that they can get what they want. So I don't know what their goal is.
It's probably the same as in Rises. If you can explain to me what the goal was in Rises, it's that.
Oh, okay, all right.
But
I guess we'll see. We just don't have a lot of information yet.
But so we go down this line of hyperbolic freezing chambers or whatever, and I thought there would be people there, but I'm like, oh, that's that guy. Oh, that's that guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Because I'm sure we have other people that are dead that we haven't resurrected yet. I'm sure there's
Jeffrey Combs!
Yeah.
Jeffrey Combs just sitting around!
Well, there's no reason they would have brought him down there.
No. But there's no reason Jerome would be down there. Jerome died at the beginning of Season 2, and we didn't start doing the Indian Hill stuff till later, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was connected.
And we saw what Penguin's dad looked like after a couple of months. Mm-hmm. He was all decayed. I don't think this
more than a couple months.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I don't know if this makes complete sense. We just want this character back, and we're not, because that's the thing is, by doing this, we have now opened the door. We can say any character anywhere is in one of those pods.
Yeah, no, that's right. Sure. But that was already potentially a problem.
Yeah.
The thing is, Indian Hill was going on already, and my guess is it's supposed to be that like anybody that dies that what's his face that Doctor Strange, that Hugo Strange might think would be an interesting case study. He finds somebody to go grab them.
Okay.
And brings them down there. Because to be fair, yes, that was earlier in the season, but that research had to have already been going on for a long time.
Well, yeah, but it also means that that goat mask guy from the first season can come back. Anyone can
really
come back.
Anybody. Yeah.
Because they all might have been of interest to Hugo Strange. Scarecrow's dad will come back. I think he died. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So this episode was
Yeah, it wasn't great.
We had fun watching it.
I had more fun with it than I did the episode at the end of or for the mid-season. But I'm adjusting my expectations again because I thought I was legitimately liking this show.
And now we're back to
once
season
again
2.
I have to watch it more ironically.
Yeah, which is a bummer because we really thought it was coming into his own.
Yeah,
and that because what I really wanted or believed was that.
They're relying on bad...
was that they had to...
relationship drama again.
They had to contrive something to be like a cliffhanger for the mid-season. And so, like, that episode was bad because they were just trying to get, like, a bunch of, like, dun-dun-duns, and then we're going to go back to, like, regular, and I don't know.
That does not seem to be what's going on.
It's not great.
But also, I'm sure you wanted to see Nigma and Penguin longer, and they're just going to be against each other from now on.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the confrontation scene.
The gang war could still be fun.
Yeah, all of that stuff still seems fun. The Penguin is still the most enjoyable part of this. I mean, what's going on with him
I still potentially like Barbara's role and all that.
Because what's going on with him could still be an intentional comedy. Like, all that ghost stuff could be intentionally really funny.
Well, and I want to think it is, but it's awkward again.
Mm-hmm. Or I don't know.
Because I don't think I'm supposed to be laughing at the Falcone stuff, and it's just as stupid, but not in a fun way.
Yeah.
And, again, I'm okay with this show being stupid fun, I just needed to know it and be consistent about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, well, I guess we'll see where it's at next week. Thanks a lot for watching, folks. We sure appreciate it. We will see you again with another discussion on Gotham next week. And in the meantime, I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
Thanks again for watching.